thank you guys for coming. We are Team Cedar Fever and we're doing analysis on social media awareness. Now to introduce everyone, my name is Emily Kearney. I'll be doing the introduction. Frank Diaz will be doing the primary collection. Matt Bice will be doing primary analysis. Wyatt Walker will be doing secondary research. And to wrap up, Taylor Dillingham will be doing recommendations, and then Matt will conclude. So to begin the intro, our client Jennifer Kirsch of Regina Mathers came to us with a problem. She wanted to expand her organization, Regina Mather, to be more into social media. They want to have more of a presence. So what we did, our goal was to find the most effective use of social media that they could use. We did that by giving out surveys to parents with younger children, and we found that Facebook and Twitter are the most effective uses for incorporating social media into their organization. Now I'm going to pass it over to Frank for primary collection.
For our collection of the data, the first thing we had to go over was taking the survey questions, and in order to pick the questions, we wanted to get the most efficient, effective ways that we figured out which social media would be most useful. And what we did was we listed questions that were real simple and basic, and that wouldn't be like too contradicting and simple, so that people would just go through them. Doesn't take up too much time for them, and they're able to just let us know what they feel is the most used social media by them. The next thing we did was distribute the surveys, which the best way we did that was we went to schools with younger students, and we went to their parents because obviously the parents are looking for schools for their kids, or they're in a school, and we got them to sign off on our surveys. And the 4 questions that were asked by Regina Matter, they're similar to our survey in the fact that we asked them basically about which social media do they use the most, which one do you think is most effective, which one they like the most, which one do you think they'd like in classes, like which school basically, if the school is incorporated into social media, which one would be like most easily used and which one to notify, all that. Next was the number of our surveys. We had 152 surveys collected. 66 were from the Woodlands Christian, 37 were from Barton Hills Elementary, 31 from Harmony School of Excellence, and 8 from Steiner Ranch Elementary. And now Matt Rice.
For primary data analysis, we were looking for a 90% confidence interval with a population of 20,000. We chose that population because I figured that would cover all of the potential new parents in Austin for the most part. And if you go to a higher population, you don't really get much better confidence interval anyways. But unfortunately, instead of handing out 200, we only got 152, so we had a 78% confidence interval. And then 4 questions were omitted from our survey because the answers, I guess, were a little bit too complicated, or people didn't follow instructions. Anyways, these answers were supposed to have one answer, and people circled several, and other things where you could just tell people just made a big circle of a bunch of them. So not enough of those questions were valid to even bother with, so we went ahead and omitted those. And then we needed our surveys in a program where we could tally them up and make charts to analyze the data. So we used Excel. Frank and Emily tallied up all the results for us. I appreciate that. And then for the 4 questions that Regina Matter answered, those were distributed through SurveyMonkey by Jen Kirsch, so we went ahead and used that to analyze it and produce the graphs. And now I will hand it back, or I'll hand it to Wyatt to talk about secondary data collection and analysis.
Well, as you said, I conducted a lot of the secondary research with some help from Taylor, and the first order of business was just to see general popularity of a lot of social media sites. So I went to a website called Alexa that ranks the popularity and number of page views of a lot of different, or basically all the websites on the internet. And from there, I went through and saw which of them were social media sites. So a lot of the ones that you'd expect were there. Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter were basically the top 3. LinkedIn, as I'm sure you know, is just a business-oriented one, so that's not necessarily one that Regina Mater would be posting updates to. So from that, I basically determined that Facebook and Twitter were the most visited ones. So after that, I went to several websites, including Media Bistro and iStrategy Labs. And these are websites that have the demographics of users of Facebook and Twitter, and these are up to date as of the end of last year. So we found that Facebook is losing a lot of users within our age group, is actually growing in the demographics typically associated with parents or prospective parents. So it actually is a really good, still a really good medium for reaching those people. Same with Twitter. Twitter has a more of a hold on the younger people, but there's people of all ages on Twitter as well. So then after that, I went and looked at how alternative education schools in Austin reach into like both parents and students, and again found that Facebook was basically de facto. Almost every website had a Facebook link on their main page or on their contact page, and then second to that was Twitter. Twitter didn't show up quite as much as Facebook, but showed up a lot more than, say, Pinterest, Instagram, something like that. They occasionally did use them, but it was only for pictures of activities and not for news updates or important information and announcements. So after that secondary research, I will pass it back to Matt to talk about some of our conclusions.
So after analyzing the data, I was able to come to a few conclusions and findings. Both the secondary and primary data pointed to Facebook being the most popular social media platform, and not only is it the most popular social media platform, but it's the most appropriate for Regina Mater or any educational organization for that matter. We also found that most parents would follow their children's educational organization. I know Regina Mater actually has a Facebook, but not very people are following it. I think that they need to advertise that a little bit better. 77.6% of parents check social media at least once every day. This kind of clues into one of our recommendations that Taylor will be talking about, that it's very important to have your Facebook updated frequently because people are always checking it, and it's easy to forget about something that you never see in your feed. Regina Mater parents are a little bit different than the general population. We discovered most of them are 31 plus when they enroll their children. 88% of the parents polled were 31 or over when they first enrolled their children. So this is a little bit older than the typical, which is actually 25 to 35. So that's something they can take note of. So right now, Facebook is popular among this, and these people don't really use too many other social media sites. And then the other thing is parents are willing to share posts, so it pays off to really push for sharing. That's a two-way thing. They can share things from parents, and parents can share them. And I have some of the graphs about these, showing these, how often social media is checked. I think most people check it more than once every day. Percentage of social media use. This is Facebook, Pinterest, and Twitter. This is Reddit, Tumblr, and Instagram. Preferred choice of social media used in schools. You see Facebook is dominating, with Twitter is coming up second. Here's a Regina Mater question that was sent to only them. Talks about what would you like to see Regina Mater use, and Facebook was the #1 used. And then here we are with how old were you when you first enrolled your child in Regina Mater. You can see that most of them are 31 or over, at 88% actually. And now I'm going to hand it to Taylor for recommendations.
We recommend that since you already have a Facebook, we found recommendations to improve your Facebook page. So one of the things we did notice was that there was not a lot of posts, so we recommend posting more frequently and designing how you post to make it flow better and easier to read. We recommend teachers, parents post, and then people can like it, people can share it, so that other people can see it. Just get as many people you can to follow the page. Get the parents, get friends to follow the page. Get people you don't know to follow the page. And then we also recommended considering paid advertising. You can go to Facebook and pay a very small amount, and they will find your target market, and they will put an ad out, and you can, if they click it, they charge you a small fee. You can put kind of a cap on how much you want to spend every day, and it's really easy, it's simple. You get exactly who you need to see it. We also had recommendations for improving Twitter. We did notice that there were hardly any tweets, and just to tweet as frequently as you can. Twitter is one of those things that you try to post, multiple times a day if you can. So just, post, what you're doing with the students, what the teachers are doing, if you have any events. And with that, try to gain followers, tell parents to follow the Twitter, and then they can retweet your tweets so that other people who don't follow it can see it. So that's, easy advertising. And then there's a little Twitter biography that you can have, and you can put the link to your website, the link to your Facebook, other links so people can use your Twitter to find the other information you have. So, okay. So in conclusion, after Frank handed out the surveys and Wyatt did secondary information and Emily and Matt did all of the graphs, we found that Facebook is still the most efficient, and so is Twitter. And thank you for coming. That's it, thank you.